What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rant, no hate. So, definitely one of the fights I wanted to talk about that I didn't get a chance to, and I was going to, and I ended up traveling again. So, I think it was the day before, it was the Friday before, and that's Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford. Now, salute to both of them for coming to the fight and bringing what they had that night. Now, what I'm going to say is, leading up to this fight, with all of the people taking sides and, they speaking about who they thought was going to win, that's normal. It's even expected. But if you guys remember me telling you, I said, and I mean this, I said, I rock with Errol Spence no matter who he's fighting. I respect Terrence Crawford's skills as a fighter as well. So I got to a point where I felt like I don't really know, because I'm not, for me, I don't take anything personal when someone loses, but it's kind of like, damn, I don't want to see, I want to see Errol Spence win. At the same time, it's not like I want to see Terrence Crawford lose. So it was like somebody got to lose. So I'm like, you know what? Like I said, it's easy for me to just say what I say because I don't really personally care. So, hey, may the best man win. That's what it is. Now, my thing is, I said Terrence Crawford just has to be Terrence Crawford. People, oh, he's going to go in there and he's going to, I'm like, nah, I don't think it would be wise for him to just fight out of character to try to please the fans. He do what he needs to do. That's what he did. Now, I said Errol Spence was going to have to be different in the sense of Spence likes to, he leaves himself open a lot. But he does it on purpose a lot of times. Like, he'll throw his jab out. He has a tendency to throw a lazy jab. He kind of pauses his punches. He does this thing where he'll throw a shot and then dip down. He keep that right arm like in front of him, almost like he's holding Captain America's shield. And he kind of looks up because he wants to see what he wants to do. Because he's a southpaw, of course, and he likes to throw that overhand like a sledgehammer. Terrence Crawford is too sharp for that. He was on to everything that Spence was doing. Now, you can't take nothing away from Terrence Crawford. He did what he was supposed to do. He was the better man. It's as simple as that. Errol Spence, to me, looked weak. Not that he didn't have power in his shots, because, he was throwing hard punches. It just didn't look like his body was responding the way he wanted it to. Now, I don't know if that's just where he is right now, or if it was just that night. And he's insisting that he wants the rematch, but at 154, definitely. So, in other words, I'll take it at 147, but I prefer at 154. Now, tactically, he's going to have to change or it's going to be the same result. I don't care what weight they fight at. The reality is, Errol Spence, in terms of boxing skill for skill, Terrence Crawford is more technical. Errol is a boxer puncher. Okay? Remember the comparison people was making, saying that this was going to be Leonard Hearns, and I said, I don't see it being Leonard Hearns. And for those who don't remember, let me tell you what I said and why. Basically, Terrence Crawford, he's a boxer. He's technical. Ray Leonard was a boxer. He's technical. They both can punch. But those two are different from each other as well. Thomas Hearns is a boxer puncher. Errol Spence, okay, he can punch, but he doesn't like to box. Do you guys remember the interview that he had? And he said, I could box and jab and all that stuff and work behind my jab, but that's boring to me. And I said, I don't like that. Because what fighters don't understand is when you say that, what you're saying is, I'm not disciplined enough to train, to learn, to be adaptive to anything. So therefore, if I have to walk you down, if I have to fight on the back foot, if I have to control range and distance, if I have to counterpunch, I'm not able to do it because all I know is one thing. And we've been seeing Errol Spence steamroll people, and that's what he got used to. Just like Tyson and other fighters that when they get to the point where they fight you, like Tyson was solid with what he did, but he was one dimensional, man. Tyson can't fight on the back foot. He doesn't control range and distance, and I can fight from any distance. No, he could out jab a lot of guys that was longer than him. But Mike's main objective was to get in, seek, and destroy. That's all you've been seeing Errol Spence do. Now, with the exception of the Mikey Garcia fight, Errol Spence basically just one thing: break you down, break your will, keep coming in, impose his will on you, and finally break you down. Well, what happens when the guy you're fighting, you can't break him down? And I do remember in that fight him landing two like solid punches. But just watching and breaking that fight down, he wasn't able to land like he wanted to. The majority of his shots was getting blocked. And as far as him going down easy, that's why I say he looked weak. He got dropped with a jab. So my point, his punches was hard, but he looked weak. Errol Spence went down 3 times, and let's just be real. Those punches that dropped him, we know punch placement, timing, all that stuff it all plays a part in boxing, but those was not even like devastating punches, and he was going down. And that's why I'm saying he looked weak. A lot of times, okay, and non-fighters don't understand this. A lot of times, especially if it's a weight situation, let's say you're weight drained, but there's fighters you can still beat. But now you come up against a guy that it's not going to work. I'm going to have to be 100% to beat this guy. Terrence Crawford was catching him, capitalizing on him to where he was able to land every punch he wanted to throw. I think he could have turned his back and just threw a backhand and could have hit him. Like he was hitting him with everything. But he was getting dropped with shots that wasn't even that solid. He was just getting caught with them. If you remember the barrage of punches that caught him, the round that they stopped it in, he was getting rocked, but he didn't go down. And it's like he turned his head, he gets rocked, maybe he didn't see the shot coming. I remember him throwing that overhand left and he got caught. He didn't see that coming. So that could be the reason that he went down, because he just didn't see it, but he looked weak. That's what I'm saying. Like he couldn't take it. And we've never seen anybody hit Errol. I mean, come on. Errol, remember when his mouthpiece came out? He explained later in a video that he thought that his teeth was in the mouthpiece. That's what he was looking, trying to get it, and it completely took his attention off, and he made a rookie mistake, and Ugas caught him with a hard shot. He didn't see that coming. He didn't go down. He wobbled, but he didn't go down. That was solid. Spence didn't get hit with one shot in that fight that was nearly that hard, and he went down 3 times. You see what I'm saying? So the shots that hit him wasn't nearly that hard, that knocked him down. And so this is what I'm saying. Your timing is not there. And I agree. He said himself his timing was off. Yes, his timing was off. His reflexes, he had no head movement, nothing. He was just coming in a straight line. He had no plan B, and he didn't try to, you didn't see the effort to try to change anything. He just kept trying to do the same thing. I also think that he underestimated Terrence Crawford. See, telling him he's too small, he's too light in the ass, it all might sound humorous, but I keep telling you guys, man, it's not always about size. And the guy that was seen as the bigger puncher couldn't get a knockdown, and he's the one that got knocked down 3 times. So you hear me guys say all the time, you can't necessarily base what fighter is going to win based on what happened with a fighter, a previous fight. You just, it just doesn't work like that. You can get that feeling of, certain things you see give you that feeling of it gets your attention because of, it depends on how the fight went and what each fighter brought to the table. So, like if you fighting a guy that can't punch, why is this guy still in here? He doesn't have incredible hand speed. He doesn't have, immense defense, and you're being cautious and like overly cautious with this guy. Why is he still in here? Now you get there with a big puncher, that does have some speed and basically is going to pressure you all night. And, you see like, okay, this guy doesn't like pressure. So you may be the better boxer, but he has to give you that comfortability. So if he jumps on you, you never get a chance to display those boxing skills. So he's not cooperating with you. So things like that. But with these two, we're talking about the guys that's considered the 2 best in the division and 2 of the top pound for pound. And Spence made it look easy. Crawford made it look easy. That night, there's several fighters that would have beat Errol Spence. Jerron Ennis would have smoked him. He would have smoked him. Same way. Him fighting him the same way. I just don't think Spence was on. I definitely think he had an off night. The weight might have had something to do with it. I don't know. But tactically, he didn't even try to do anything different. So my thing is, like I said, even if they fight at 154, if he can't change his tactics, even if he's strong and can take the shot, now that can help in the sense that you could absorb and come in and land your shots. But the problem in that is Terrence Crawford is not going to cooperate with him and make it easy for him to get hit. Now, I noticed in the second round, Errol Spence's face starting to swell up and his skin tone looked burgundy. His face turned a whole different color. It's because of the plastic surgery. And the thing is, we don't know, like, the damage that's done to his face. We don't know where his confidence is right now. Like, it's one thing to want something. He's not a punk, so yeah, you want something, but when you get in there, what are you capable of doing different? And that's the thing that, he's going to have to know. I can't go in there and fight him the same way. I told you guys, Spence is going to have to be different. But like I said, he's going to have to jab. When Crawford jab, you jab. Double, triple jab. Give him angles. You don't have to fight him on the back foot. Come forward. But don't come in at center line and don't be there for the receipt. And also, your puncher need to go down the middle. Jab to his body on top of that. Hit him in the hip. Don't just come with that usual come in, ducking down, trying to just club to the body. Crawford's just too sharp for that. What's the guy's name that Crawford fought? The guy, I forget his name, but he knocked out Amir Khan. And then the next fight he had was with Crawford. Okay, that was at 140. I could pull it up real quick, but I don't feel like doing that. Crawford rehydrated that night, and this was at 140 to 150 pounds. So people can forget all of that. Oh, Crawford's a little guy. I've been saying this forever, man. Guys fight in divisions that they're 15, 20 pounds bigger than. Often. This is nothing new. When you look and say, oh, but you got dropped by Gamboa, or you got this and you did, so what? That has nothing to do with what's going to happen when you two fight. So this was no super fight in terms of the fight itself, man. I mean, it was one-sided, and Spence got dominated. And Spence's best rounds, he wasn't even really landing. He was just throwing more. He was being active, but his timing, his reflexes, his ability to take a punch, his heart and determination was there. Yeah, he was trying to win. He's fighting back. He got all the heart in the world. Spence is a warrior, man. Spence ain't no pushover. But pretty much it looked easy, man. So for people who tuned in, if somebody tuned in for the first time and saw Spence, I'm pretty sure they said, man, this dude is a bum, or he's overrated. He's no bum. He's not overrated. Okay? We all knew Terrence Crawford was the better boxer, but that doesn't mean that you win. Usually the better boxers do beat the brawlers, the guys that's, more one-dimensional. And that's the thing with Spence. See, Terrence Crawford can do different things. Whereas Errol Spence, he's used to breaking you down, like I said. And then when I heard him say, that's boring to me, boxing. I just want to go in there and mix it up. And yeah, but that's when your competitor isn't crafty enough to understand. I'm not going to give Spence what he wants. I'm going to fight the way I fight. Now, when he outboxed Mikey Garcia, yeah, he beat him. And he was better than Mikey Garcia at everything. Okay? People criticize him for not getting the knockout. Well, he wasn't really going for the knockout, okay? And when he was turning up on him, the whole thing was he was concerned about the fans saying, oh, you a weight bully. You're fighting a much smaller guy. Your mind has to be, honestly, it's like you have to have both your middle fingers up so everybody can see you and let you know I can care less what you guys are saying. I'm here to win, and I'm going to do what I have to do to win. And anytime you dismiss learning how to fight and defend yourself, however you may need to, and you just resort to this power, this pressure, and one-dimensional, it's going to come back and bite you, man. And is it just ironic that the only person that he lost to was a guy that can do exactly what he called boring for himself to do? So And the thing was, Terrence Crawford was in front of him the whole night. And when Crawford said, okay, he can't even hit me, he can't land anything, a jab, nothing. He can't, okay. And I'm able to catch and capitalize on these flaws he's making. He looked like a ranked amateur in there that night. Like I said, Crawford didn't have to be super great. He didn't do anything extra. That's the praise that they're giving him because of the magnitude of the fight and who he fought against. But it was an easier night because Crawford was based. Look, Crawford, Spence power was there. He's doing hard shots, but he couldn't take anything. And it's like he just wasn't there. Now, Crawford said they can definitely fight at 154. It doesn't have to be at 147. If the fight does happen again, then it happens. Now, I know there's people saying, nah, man, don't do it. It's not worth it. Because nobody thought he was going to get beat like that. And even for people that thought he might have got stopped late, they thought it was going to be back and forth, battle of attrition, but it was none of that. It was a one-sided ass kicking, and Spence couldn't get anything going. It now is a combination of this. Crawford did what he did, and he did what he was supposed to, and he showed you. You come in here half-assing it, I'm going to embarrass you, and that's what he did. But in my opinion, Spence wasn't right. On top of that, something wasn't there, man. And it could have been a weight. Who knows? But again, even when it's the weight, the fact that he made no effort to try to do anything different probably came down to, I need to try to get this guy out of here, man. Because if you feel weak and you can't perform properly, and we don't know what happened, if anything did happen, but he's insisting at 154. And Spence has been talking about going to 154 for a long time. So again, there may be certain guys he might have beat that night, but to be honest with you, like the fact he couldn't take anything, he just couldn't get anything going. It shows you if they'd have landed something right. And look, Jerron Ennis is a solid boxer. So, Jerron Ennis had a fight where a guy ran, pretty much is fighting defensive with good defense early in the fight, then just decided to run. And people were saying, oh, Jerron Ennis can't handle movement. Jerron Ennis this, Jerron Ennis that. Jerron ain't ready for no Spence. He ain't ready for no Crawford. Now, you guys tell me, if he was fighting Jerron Ennis that night, you think that Errol Spence would have beat Jerron Ennis? And Jerron Ennis would have destroyed Errol Spence that night. And believe me, it didn't take just a Terrence Crawford to beat him. Spence, that was the worst I was seeing Spence look. And if they fight at 154, and let's say he looks way better, let's say he win, and okay, or if he lost, but this was a great fight, whatever. Yeah, then people could look and say, yeah, compare this to then. He just didn't look right to me. Definitely didn't look right. I mean, like I said, not just the timing. You guys got to understand something. If you've never been weight trained, you don't know what it feels like. The understanding that people think they have is just listening to people talk. I'm telling you, if you feel weak, you might be muscular. You might muscle tone, all that, and all of that. Your punches are still hard, but sometimes your legs are not there. Or your chin, like you don't realize that when you get hit, it's like, damn, what the hell? Why am I on the floor? Like, what? I ain't never been knocked out in my life, but I know these things happen. Okay, I ain't even been knocked down, but I know these things happen, and this is my point. But it's times where I didn't feel right in situations. The person in front of me didn't know, but I knew. You understand? And this is why let me give you guys a quick story. I did something, and I wasn't aware. I have times when my allergies are really bad. Now, for anybody that has allergies, at times when I'm talking where you get that itch in your ear and you're doing this on both sides, one of your eyes are just watering constantly, or, like just get that itch in your throat and get that little dry cough. That's how my allergies get. So I remember one day, and this is like, this was just sparring. But I took an allergy pill that I actually bought over the counter. What I didn't know, because I didn't read the instructions like I was supposed to, because I took just, oh yeah, this is what I take. Yeah, it worked for me. And I'm in front of this person, so I'm not thinking at that time the effects. Man, when we were in the back, I'm back there hitting the pads and, but I'm starting to feel lazy, man. I mean, like my body is just feeling like I feel like I want to just go lay down. Not even sit down. I just want to go lay down. And I'm like, oh nah. So I'm on my toes and everything, and I'm bouncing around and damn. So I went over there, got some ice water, just took it and just put it on my face, and just like sip the water. But man, like the fuck. Coach goes, you all right? Yeah, man. I said, damn, what the hell? I'm feeling sleepy or something, man. Like I said it to him. He looked. He said, you all right? Like now, mind you, and this is sparring, but I'm in the so yeah, all right. So we go in the ring, and dude said, what we doing? 3 rounds, 6 rounds, limitless. What y'all want? I said, man, I don't care. Let's go. Coach was just like, nah, man. Let's just do 3 for now. We could see how it go. Listen, my body just felt weird. Like it's like I want to just like I want to go lay down. I'm feeling like like man, what is going on with me? And that motherfucker, I remember him throwing a punch. It caught me. I like kind of, but it woke my ass up. Like my adrenaline kicked in, and I jumped on his ass. And basically, I broke his nose. That's what ended it. This was in the first round. Now, this was sparring, okay? This was sparring. His headgear just had the strap. I broke his nose. That's what stopped it. This was the type of thing when I'm thinking, okay, how would I have held up? I have determination. I'm not a quitter. I'm not afraid. So I don't. But like, how would I have felt as the time went on? I don't know. He had no clue. I just wanted to sit down. My body just felt. I just didn't feel like It's like damn. Like my mind is preoccupied with trying to figure out what's wrong with me. Like why am I feeling like what is going on? But the other side of me is like I know this guy's in front of me and I'm alert. I'm aware. What's going on. But my body just felt like all right, that stopped. Whatever, and I'm over there hitting the speed bag, man, like, because the dude got his nose right, like I said. But I'm over there, and I'm just like, man, I'm like, yeah, my coach is like, come here, Reese, you good, man? He's like, come here. He's like, come here. So when I'm about to leave, I go shower and change, and he gave me some coffee. I was at a red light, and I realized I was nodding off. I'm like, hold up, I'm not understanding what's going on. Like, I'm thinking maybe I'm just exhausted. The routine done caught up with me, so I don't know. I go pull over. I had to sleep. I slept for about an hour. Like, and I woke up and I'm sitting there like, man. So I got out the car, started walking around, and like, man, I got home. And even though I got an hour, I'm still like that nauseated feeling. So I get home. I make it home. And I'm like, man, what the hell is wrong with me? So I went in there. I slept. Man, I slept for about 6 hours. I wake up, I'm good, but I'm like, all right. Now, this is not a 24-hour allergy pill, it's an 8-hour. When I take this allergy pill, okay, again, the next day, I didn't have to go anywhere. But I say probably around an hour, maybe a little less, I started getting that same feeling. And that's when I'm like, wait a minute. And that's when I went and paid attention that shit. Allergy pill may cause you to feel drowsy. And that's what it happened. It was the damn allergy pill. But I wasn't aware. And I'm just going to spar. I'm not, this is not like I'm not, at this point, I'm not preparing for a fight. This is just me staying in shape. You understand what I'm saying? But my opponent didn't know. And this was just sparring. But say it was an actual fight. And I'm in here like, but you understand who wants to hear, oh, nah, he's just making excuses. No, I don't make excuses. And I will never make excuse for anybody. But what I'm saying, I just didn't feel right. And that was because of something I wasn't even aware of. But I took that. Now, if this was been a situation where something showed up in my system, I could show them what I took. This is not helping me. This is not giving me a boost. This is hurting me. So I'm like, wow. So yeah, I had to change that, man. And I went to my doctor. She prescribed something better for me. And I got the 24-hour because you can buy allergy pills over the counter. But she prescribed something for me that wouldn't make me drowsy. and it's similar to similar to like Claritin 24-hour pill. Take the one, and after a while, when you take something enough, it's like you start to get immune to it. But this thing had me drowsy, and my mind just would not at that moment go back to what I took because I'm not thinking about this making me drowsy. I'm thinking about the damn thing clearing me up so I can breathe better and my eyes stop watering and all that type of stuff. And I know I'm about to go spar. So that's what that was. But in this situation, I've been in the gym with people, man, where they were weight trained. I've been in the gym with people where, I remember sparring a guy. I could feel his power. Even when I blocked, cool. We two big, huge dudes, and I remember I hit this dude with a shot, and I swear it's like he basically reached, and I just kind of pulled, kind of pop, and I threw it purposely with an open hand, and it dropped him, and he was like, you understand? I'm like, damn, I barely hit him. Things happen to people, man. So we can sit, oh, it's excuses, oh, keep the same energy. If he would have said nothing, no, I will never make excuses for nobody. Terrence Crawford was the better man. He went in there and did what he had to do. But I don't care what nobody say. Spence just didn't look right in that fight. And that's not Terrence Crawford's problem. Okay, they both had to make weight. Terrence Crawford himself said that weight, it's difficult for him to make weight at times. So, they both were affected by the same thing. But you can't say, well, he did it, and that, yeah, he did. No excuses being made. It's just the point that Errol just didn't look right. Nobody in there can tell me you've seen Errol look like that in a fight before. And I'm not talking about the discoloration of his face and all like that. We know it's from the plastic surgery and all. We know that. I'm talking just him getting hit, even the way he was falling, like he was all over the place. He just never looked. He didn't look strong. He looked weak. He looked to me like he was trying to get Terrence Crawford out of there. Like he just didn't feel like, okay, I can switch up and do anything different. Like I got it. My best bet is to try to get this dude out of here. And that's what he was doing the whole time. Seek and destroy, even though it wasn't working. What else can I do? Like, that's all he knew. So I feel like even if he wasn't weak and he was, 100%, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was 100%. Tactically, he didn't do anything different. And he didn't show the ability to. So this is like I'm telling you, it don't matter if they fight at 154 if his tactics don't change. He's not going to be enough for him to just try to back Terrence Crawford into a corner and pounce on him. That's my thing. You have to be able to box with him in the middle of that ring as well and take advantage of it, especially when you get him on the ropes. But you have to force him to them ropes. You have to make him know you can't stand here and bang with me. We didn't see that out of Spence. So Terrence Crawford went in there and he did what he was supposed to do. So, I don't know what's going to happen with Terrence Crawford. We know Charlo is fighting Canelo. I don't see a reason for him to not fight Canelo and decide, okay, I'm going to go fight Spence. He's, going to 168 to fight for Undisputed. See how that goes. Now, at the end of the day, if because Spence, he wants to exercise the rematch. Because he want that rematch. Fight at 154. If that's how it's going to be, fight at 154. This isn't about Undisputed for Spence. This is about redemption. So if Terrence Crawford decides, hey, we do it at 154 because I beat you at 147. You didn't make no excuses, and hey, cool. You feel like 154 is it'd be different. So it's obvious now it's common sense. Him saying 154 is him not making an excuse, but he's letting you know indirectly. I didn't feel, that I was at my best at that weight. More than likely, he didn't feel strong, man. He didn't look strong to me. He definitely didn't look strong, and I mean strong as far as being able to take shots. He just didn't look strong. He just didn't look like he wasn't doing anything, man. You saw no urgency. You saw him doing nothing different. And even though you're in the corner and they're asking you, are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. But he couldn't do anything other than what he was doing. So to go to 154 and they have this fight, let's see what it looks like. There's nothing else. I mean, if Terrence Crawford is not going to fight a Jerron Ennis, let's just be real, then, there's nothing out there better than Spence or, equally, or just say equal at least. And Terrence Crawford didn't take no punishment, so there's no reason for him to go in there and take a lesser fight or something. No, no. So if you're not gonna fight a Jerron Ennis, somebody that's worthy, and there's not too many names you can say out there. And his listen, and not only that, there's no reason for him to not fight Spence at 154. Just for the simple fact, he wants to go to 154 to fight Jamel Charlo. So since Jamel Charlo is off the table, do it again with Spence. And then, hey, if he beats Spence again, then hey, there's no let's go to 160. No, no. The better man just won 2 times in a row. It's as simple as that. So I'm definitely not one to try to take credit from nobody. I salute both fighters. Terrence Crawford did the goddamn thing. It's as simple as that. Spence was not the better man, So anyway, that's boxing. Those things happen, man. Talk to me in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all on the next video.